Thea Serrano, Deb, Chris Borges, Gail, and me. Anyone else?
Kathy Campbell just showed up.
Okay.
Yeah, my camera isn't on, so I'm gonna stay off because I don't have enough bandwidth to do it.
Yeah, I'm on the phone, so.
Yeah, it already said slow. I'm gonna turn on your webcams because it just told me I have a slow connection. So I can't see anybody anymore. Yeah, in fact, I'm gonna move to a different place in the house. Hopefully I won't lose you all.
Come on, camera.
Okay. David is not on, huh?
No. And Jamie emailed me and indicated that he is not going to be on until 12:30. So, and we're waiting now. We have Farouk, Millie, Deb, Gail, Kathy, and did I miss someone?
I just want to say that if I go away for a while, it's just because I'm switching computers. I'm gonna see how this one works and I might switch over. So I'll be back if I decide I have to do that.
I'll do that.
Okay. Unfortunately, I think we only have 5 members on the line.
Well, technically, we can start continuing ed because it doesn't need the full quorum.
I thought we were doing
Well,
first.
Mark Richards
let's
is on.
see. Hi,
Good.
Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Mark,
Hey, guys.
okay, so Farouk, Millie, Deb, Gail, Mark, and Kathy, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. If that's right, then we can get started on the regulations. We only have a half an hour, and we don't have much. Let's see. Basically, I just put in all the changes that we talked about at the November 10th meeting. So you'll see that LSP is there throughout. There were no major changes. I'm looking at, other than the LSP, I'm looking at 8.07, and that section we took out money and monetary. Section 810, again, those are just the the addition of the word LSP Okay, Kurt is having trouble getting in. I'm sorry to interrupt the meeting. Kurt is having trouble getting in, and Greg is still having trouble. So Victoria is working with them for new send them new links. Any other changes? In 8.17, I capitalized adjudicatory hearing.
Beverly, these are not in track changes, right? Because the only ones that I see in track change are contained in section 8.01.
And those are the only ones that we have left. Okay. Yeah, all the track changes for Roop. I'm sorry, I'm doing two things. Oh, Mark.
Yes.
Let Victoria sort that out, because these links are individualized. So I don't know. You're sending an email to Kurt.
No, I was just saying use the link. We all got email link reminders today that are individualized,
Right.
and that's the one I used. The previous links didn't work for some reason.
Kirk
Okay.
is on. Kirk,
I'm on
Kirk
now.
is listed. Yeah.
Greg is on now also, but I did not receive an email this morning. So that's
Okay. Did you get Greg? Did you get an invitation earlier, or?
I got the invitation for the meeting that was canceled, but not this third one.
You didn't get a second invitation for the 26th, right?
Correct. I only saw the information that was attached to the email, for information or instructions. Go to this link, and that link was broken.
Right. Okay. And did you get an email this morning?
I did not.
You did not get a reminder.
I did not.
All right. Kurt, I'm sorry. Did you get a reminder this morning?
No, I didn't get a reminder.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to sort this out, so when I follow up with Victoria and the commissioner, we can sort this out. Okay.
Yeah, this is a weird issue because the only two people we're having issues with are Kirk and Greg for automatic emails.
Okay.
And so the only thing I can think of is it might be an issue with their incoming email on their end, because no one else is having issues getting emails or the links being broken.
Okay. But that doesn't explain why Kurt and Greg didn't get a reminder, though.
Yes,
So
it does. Yes, it does. If the issue is that for some reason their email service is blocking any aspect of them getting invites or getting broken emails, it absolutely positively could be on their end.
Not to prolong this conversation, but I have checked with our IT department, and they said there's absolutely no reason why it should happen. There's nothing being done by our server or our malware.
No, I realize that. It's just out of all, I send this out to however many people we have, 11 people, and those two emails are the only ones we're having issues with.
Yeah, it's just odd that I didn't get it for several months, and Victoria sent me forwarded me a copy of it, and then all of a sudden I did get it in January, and I figured maybe the problem was solved, and then it happened again now this week.
Yeah, see,
Okay.
one of the big problems is Victoria, her email is what is logged in as the owner of this account. So when these things get sent out, she has a copy of all the emails that get sent to everybody, all the invites that get sent. So she can actually look in her sent box and pick out an email and resend it. I can't do that because I'm not the registered owner of the webinar account. So
Right.
that's why I
Right.
can't forward stuff to people.
Right, I know that. All right, so like I said, I'll sort it out, and we'll see what happens. I apologize for the inconvenience. Okay, so Farouk, the only changes that you are talking about are in 8.01. All the other changes were ones that the board members agreed on at the November 10th meeting. And I added those, so that's why they're not in red strikeout.
Thanks.
So if you go back, if you look at your November draft, that's where those are the changes that I added for this month.
Sounds good.
Are
Thank
there
you.
any other? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thank you, I said.
Oh, you're welcome. All right. Any other changes with respect to 8.0? Okay. Someone just join us? No? Okay. So I have to figure out where we go next in terms of which sections are yet to be looked at, because I don't remember. And whatever is left, I'll take a shot at it, drafting changes for the next meeting. I'm not sure. I think that there's only one section left. One or two sections left. So that concludes the reg meeting, which was recorded, by the way. And we can't start the continuing ed meeting until, excuse me, 12:30. I don't know what happened, excuse me, to David.
David's online.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm here and ready to go at 12:30.
Okay. Then
Happy
that's
New
where
Year.
we stand. Thank you, David. We'll go at 12:30.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you. Same to you.
Yes, same to everybody.
It's been a
Happy
while.
New Year.
Yep, and here's to a better 2021.
Already started, yes.
It has to be better.
Well, I'd feel a little better if I was over 65, but I'll deal with it. Certainly being older has an advantage these days.
Yeah, it's a mixed blessing because you can get the vaccine, but you can also die of corona. Yeah.
Or other things.
More like,
Or
yeah,
that old age.
yeah. Well, 65 isn't so old anymore.
Oh, you're right. No, can't complain. Everything is good. We talked about not receiving emails. And actually, there's a funny thing that happens. I think Barbara Barbara sent the second part of PDF to David and me and others. I didn't get it because the file is too large for some reason. However, I get that when Dave forwards that to me. So, there's something somewhere that's not working right. And this has happened second time, actually. This is the second time this thing has happened.
Yes, Farouk, but I don't know what that is on your end because all of this happened all of a sudden. We've never had a problem sending you files, and some of them for the ARPs that you've served on have been just as large. This is a recent phenomena. Honestly, I don't know what's causing it.
Yeah.
Have you taken a look on your end? Because nothing has changed on our end. Barbara is still getting those messages saying the file is too large whenever she sends you something.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why that happens. There may be some background security working that I'm not aware of, but the same file, same email comes to me when David forwards that. And David had forwarded it to me second time, actually. He bailed me out last time too.
Okay, well.
But I'll just keep an eye out in case I didn't receive it.
Are you receiving the packet, the electronic packet?
Yes, all of them came in. Yes, the whole.
Okay, so if you receive the electronic packet, that's usually the largest document that we sent. So
Exactly.
there's something funny going on if you receive the packet, but you don't receive the ARP file, because it's much fewer gigabytes.
Yeah.
It's much smaller.
Much smaller. That's exactly my point. Is that there's something. It may have to do with where the message is originating, or if that message may contain some words, or if there's some kind of a file tagged something in there that causing some of the other servers to reject them. But it's fine when it came through AECOM server, so we'll probably use AECOM as a filter next time.
Okay. I'm sorry we've got so much downtime here. This is, I know that some people have a hard stop at 3 o'clock, so we hope to be finished I think we'll be finished.
I thought our meetings were scheduled in a way that we can start the next meeting when the earlier one finishes. Isn't that what Greg had?
Yes, we can, but we can't start before the time. And on the notice to the Secretary of State, the continuing ed starts at 12:30.
Okay.
So we can't, you know what I'm saying? So we can't, that's why we're waiting. We can always just go forward with professional conduct. Those meetings can follow in sequence, but the continuing ed can't start until 12:30 because it's listed. If you want me to have all meetings start at 12 o'clock, I can do that, and then we won't have this lag time, but we usually don't have the lag time. But that's why we can't start until 12:30.
Yeah, it's only a few more minutes. No worries.
Ready to start?
Yes, I have 12:30, yep.
So I'm calling the continuing ed meeting to order, January 26, 12:30. Who do we have? What's the roll call order going to be for the board?
The roll call order for the board is Farouk Sadiq, excuse me, Millie Garcia Serrano, Deb Listernick, Gail Batchelder, Mark Richards, Kathy Campbell, Greg McBride, Kurt Franklin, and yourself, David.
Okay. So we didn't receive the draft minutes from February 11th, 2020.
I
correct?
have yep, let me talk about that. So the continuing ed minutes somehow got lost. I thought I was going to have to recreate them, but I did go into Boston and I found them, so I'll get those out to you. So that's why you didn't have them. I also wanted to announce that this is the February 2020 minutes are the last set of in-person minutes. So we're going to move toward the transcripts. I have received the transcripts from the August and September meetings, and if you recall, Mass DEP's commissioner has indicated that he's going to find someone to transcribe those because we have to put written minutes up on the website. So
Yeah, I sent you the written transcripts from August and September.
Oh, okay.
July, August, and September have been transcribed. I just sent October and November, which we have the auto transcribe on, which we didn't have for July or June, July, August, and September. So those were all done via video. But October, November, and this one, we have an auto transcribe and the video. So the person doing them will just basically go over the auto transcribe to make sure everything looks okay.
Okay, well, I'll sort that out with whoever Marty assigns. But August and September 2020, I'll get those ready for the board to review. You sent those on January 15th. And when did you send November and October, you said, Chris?
I sent November and October, November to the person who's transcribing them, the links, so that she can look over them and just look over the auto transcribe to make sure everything's set.
Who did you send it? I'm sorry, who did you send it to?
I believe her name is Ona. She works for Mass DEP. She's the one who's transcribing it. Yeah, I'll forward you her email.
Yeah.
She was assigned by the commissioner to do the transcribing for all these meetings, and that's who transcribed the June, July, August, and September meeting minutes.
Okay. Well, I need to be in the loop on that, but it's all good. If they're done, and that's fabulous. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So David, it's all yours.
So there's no old business that I know of. And for new business, we have 11 course approval requests. I guess before we begin, Chris, can you tell us who's online on the call in the meeting outside the board?
Yes. Eileen Snyder, Christy Lefebvre, Lori McCarthy, Michelle Velch, Nancy Fitzpatrick, and Wes Simpson.
Okay, thank you. The first course is an EBC seminar. I developed it. I was involved, so I'll recuse myself from the discussion on this, so you guys can discuss it.
Okay. I just wanted to say this meeting is being recorded.
Definitely.
Okay.
So
All right, David. So
I'll do the
go
roll
ahead.
call, but you guys can discuss it. I'm not going to be involved.
And this is for course number 1, the EBC course.
Yes.
It looks good. I think we can approve it.
Motion to approve the course.
Second.
Any discussions from the board or the public? So this is approving it for 2 technical credits. Farouk,
Yes.
Millie,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes.
Gail,
I'm trying.
excuse me? Mark,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Kirk,
Yes.
and I'm not voting. Item 2, another EBC seminar course, which took place today. The agenda says 6 technical credits, but I assume they're asking for 3. It's a live webinar, 9 to 12 o'clock.
Yeah. On that, I think they have, for 2-hour classes, they have 20 or 30 minutes of networking in there. So I looked at it. I think we could approve for 2.5 for that. I think that's probably the max you can give them over there.
Okay, so if others agree, someone can make a motion to approve it for 2.5.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion further from the board or the public?
I have to check that, but I think are they allowed a break?
Not half an hour in that kind of short time.
I don't think it was a half an hour. I don't believe so.
Well, it usually is for their courses.
It's 15 minutes break and 15 minutes or so of a breakout networking session that they have.
Okay. I thought it was characterized as 30 minutes of networking. That's why I was questioning it.
Okay, so it was approved, the course was approved for 2.5 technical credits. Is that right?
That's what's proposed. We're going through the roll call now. Farouk,
Yes.
Millie,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Greg. Greg,
Yes. Sorry, I'm
Kirk?
now on the meeting.
And Jamie's on.
Yep,
and I say
Jamie's here.
yes. Jamie, you're on the call now?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, great. Glad you could make it. So that's item number 2. The EBC course is approved for 2.5 credits. The third one is risk communication, an LSPA membership meeting took place last week. Looking for approval for the webinar and then as an online course for 1 technical credit. I make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Second.
Any discussions from the board or public?
I heard really good things about that particular webinar.
Excuse me?
I heard really good things about the webinar. Mass DP staff attended.
Okay. So roll call to approve, yes is approving. Farouk,
Yes.
Millie,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Kirk.
Yes.
I approve it. And Jamie.
Yes.
Okay, item number 4, another LSPA offering, live webinar, and then an on-demand course for 2 technical credits to be presented this spring, 2021.
David, I had a question. Did they ask for online? Because I thought it was a live webinar.
For this course or the last one?
For all of them from the LSPA, and I know Wendy's on the line, so she can probably address this.
If you,
For number 3, 4, and 5.
correct. For all 3 of those on the agenda, they're listed as live webinar, but if you read the letters, they're requesting approval for both live webinar and on demand.
Okay. So
I make a motion to approve item 4 for 2 technical credits.
Second.
Any discussion from the board or the public? Okay, a roll call. Yes is approving it. Farouk,
Yes.
Millie,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Kirk.
Yes.
I'm a yes, and Jamie.
Yes.
Item number 5, an LSPA offering 1 technical credit next month, live webinar and on-demand formats. I make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Second.
Any discussions from the board or public? I'll go through the roll call. A yes is approving it. Farouk,
Yes.
Millie,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Kirk.
Yes.
I'm a yes, and Jamie.
Yes.
The next one, Mass DEP course that took place in January, 1 regulatory credit. And in full disclosure, I'm an active member of the LSPA Climate Change Committee that put this together. I contributed to some of the content, but it was all Ken Marr's show, and the LSPA put together the actual request for the credit. I make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Any discussion from the board or public? Go through the roll call to approve it by saying yes. Farouk,
Yes.
Millie,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Kirk.
Yes.
I'm a yes, and Jamie.
Yes.
The next request is from EPOC or EPOC in Connecticut. It's a live webinar that took place in November of last year, and they're requesting 4 technical credits.
I have a question on that, Dave. For live webinars, they do track when somebody logs in and then logs out, and they have the times of those in there as well. One of the things that may be missing, and I'm not sure, is the live poll that we have, when we do the webinars.
Yes.
I'm not sure how you're going to handle that.
Yeah, I didn't see any mention of an assessment of learning.
Well,
Yeah,
webinars don't have learning, assessment of learning. Now, that's the other thing. So because they don't have that, we have the live polls, I guess. So one or the other should be in there.
Yeah, we require the polling questions as a way to keep track of attendance, or some kind of more sophisticated software, like looks like Rutgers is proposing for some of their courses. This webinar did not have that.
Yeah, because it happened in the past, there's no way we can go back and fill in those blanks. So I'm not sure. There are 2 of them actually. The EPOC has 2 of these, 7 and 8.
Yeah,
So-
can you check on, can we check with them? Because the LEP board requires that assessment of learning, so I can't believe they would have done it without it, so it might be worth checking.
I think we
All
should.
right.
I think we should ask EPOC for both this request and the next one, what kind of information that they have about people's attendance beyond just
Okay.
logging in and logging out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check.
Motion to table number 7 and number 8 until we hear back from them on that.
Can we conditionally approve based on a positive response? Or do we need to discuss again?
I think we need to see what they actually did.
Yeah.
Sure, and I wasn't going to mention it until we talked about the next one, but now as they're grouped together, I'm a little conflicted because I actually attended it. It was a great course, and I'm getting 2 credits for my LEP because Connecticut approved it. So here we are, questioning if they had any polling questions or not. So, but I think our approach is adequate at this point.
Well,
So they
David,
did have
if you attended, did they have any assessment of learning, or what was there one for the
They had
second course that you?
They had no polling questions. No.
Okay.
And no other assessment of learning?
No, not for a
there
live
was nothing?
webinar. Not for a live webinar.
Oh.
They don't need to.
Well, that was my other question. I don't remember us requiring that for a live webinar.
We don't require assessment of learning for live webinars, only for online courses, so we know the person paid attention and they pass. For the live webinar, the polling questions that pop up randomly is what people have proposed and what we've always approved for courses. And
Okay.
these 2 did not have polling questions, but they may have some other software or mechanism that they can use to say these people actually attended it beyond just logging in and logging out. Let's give them the chance.
I agree.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, so 7 and 8 are tabled for now. We'll request some additional information if they have anything else they can prove attendance of the attendees.
Got it.
Okay, real quick, Wendy Rundle said hi. It would be great to get the CEU forms for the events in agenda items number 3 and number 6, since several LSPs with end of January 2021 renewals have told us that they need them.
Okay, Wendy.
Yep, I assume that.
I already knew that, but thank you. Yes, I got it.
Yep, thanks for the note. Number 9 is, it's a live webinar. It took place in October, 6 technical credits. it was what, 3 hours each day, 2 days in a row. And they proposed some kind of attendance tracking that they also use for folks who are in college courses. It seemed adequate to me.
Yeah, they have got some pretty fancy like mouse movement and things like that in there, like tracking. I'm not sure. They might be tracking them through their webcam. Who knows?
Yeah.
I didn't, this is Debbie, I didn't see an agenda, a detailed agenda with those courses.
I think you have to click on the link, Debbie.
Well, I did click on the link and I couldn't find an agenda.
Do you want them to send something else? Can you make a
I'm just
decision
asking
with
if
that?
it was, I did look, I did click the link, I looked. One of the courses, they said they had it approved by the board previously, but I'm just raising that question.
We're seeing someone's Outlook page. I don't know if we should be.
Oh, whoops. Sorry. That's me.
We'll make sure we don't see anything we
Okay.
shouldn't.
Okay, so for 9 and 10, is there some further information you need, or I don't know? I mean, you got everything they sent, Deb, so is there something else that you're looking for?
Well, an agenda, we usually look at it, I mean, all we have now is the course name.
Yeah.
That's usually not adequate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did they send this
All
to
right,
us
so-
earlier? Is this something we got sent previously?
Yeah, this is something
Because
that was
if they
approved
didn't
before.
send it to us previously, we can't approve it anyway.
No, they wanted to have it approved for a webinar now. I think it was in person or
Right.
something like that. Because this was a course that they'd done before.
Oh, okay, so we have seen it before with the agenda. I didn't remember that.
Yeah, these are courses that they want approved as webinars now.
Online
Okay.
course. I'm sorry.
I take my comment back then.
Okay. All right.
Motion to approve 9 and 10?
Well, hold on a second. So for 10, I just wanted to maybe visit that one separately. Is that one we've approved in the previously as well?
That's what they say.
Because I'm not sure that 10 really fits the bill for approval. It seems very New Jersey specific in terms of the regulatory framework that they're discussing.
Right. I would agree
Well,
that I can't believe we approved that before. I don't remember that one. I remember the groundwater and fractured rock one.
Yep. Okay, so these are the alternatives. You can vote on number 9, the groundwater, and I will we'll table you,
Beverly,
and you can table number 10, and I can check.
I think what we should do, just for the sake of completeness, request they give us agenda for both of them instead of doing it piecemeal, just to be sure.
I think that would be helpful for number 10, specifically if they are using US EPA Superfund Ecological Risk Assessment Guidance as the foundation of their webinar. That would be a commonality point.
So I'm looking at the course evaluation, and thanks for pointing this out, Jamie, but they talk about using a New Jersey guidance.
Okay. So there's no mention of Superfund Eco Risk Assessment, David?
Not in the 2-paragraph description. So I think we should ask for agendas for both and how item 10 is applicable to LSPs in Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's a fair question.
Both have been approved by Connecticut, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Right.
So
agendas for both, and for number 10, David, what did what did you say?
I would say that we are looking for reasons why it's applicable to MCP practitioners, LSPs in Massachusetts.
Okay.
So we
All
all
right.
set? We all set with those two?
Yep.
Yep.
So the
Yes,
last
they're both
one,
they're tabled, but you didn't do a vote. There's no motion on the floor, so. It was a recommendation or suggestion, but no vote.
Right, we don't have to vote on a tabling, do we? Or do we?
I don't know.
no,
I don't know.
we didn't vote on tabling 7 and 8 relative to
Okay,
asking for more info from EPOC.
okay. I've got it.
And the last one is a request from Alpha Analytical. It was a live webinar in November, 2 technical credits.
Well, I attended it. I thought it was valuable, and I think they did in fact have the they did have the polling question. I don't remember. It's too long ago. But I vote I motion that we approve this one for the 2 technical credits.
But yeah, because I think they say, because if I remember it right, they say that they're going to have polling questions in there. Maybe I'll take a
Yeah,
look.
I think they probably did, but I'm not going to state for certain because I've seen so many lately. They start to mush together.
Second.
Okay, it's been seconded. Any discussion from the board or public? We'll go through the roll call. Yes is approval. Farouk,
Yes.
Millie,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Kirk.
Yeah.
Me is a yes, and Jamie.
Yes.
So that's the 11 approval requests we had in. If there's nothing else to discuss, the next meeting will be virtual meeting on February 9th. And I'm ending the meeting at 12:57.
Can I just ask for the February 9th date, since we just had this meeting, will there be anything to handle on February 9th?
Well, now that's a good question. Let me just get, what time did you adjourn the meeting? Or we're not adjourned because,
We can keep, yeah, so
No.
the meeting hasn't ended, and that's a thought I had, Gail, but I figured it would be discussed in the board meeting.
okay. So we have one announcement that Wendy just emailed me about a course. So we have that announcement. We have one course that I received from Paul Locke yesterday. I received submission for approval from Wendy yesterday. So there may be 4 or 5 courses, but that's about all. So I don't know, we can talk about that during a board meeting or now if you like, but
There's an application too, isn't there?
Yes, Jamie, there is an application. So in terms of conducting business, that's what we have, as Jamie suggested. So I don't know. I'll leave that up to the board.
I think it's a good point, Gail, and it's close to this meeting, but I think it's easier to keep a scheduled meeting that's on everyone's calendar than trying to find a new date later in February.
Yeah, and Wendy just said there will be another request from the LSP for our March member meeting.
Okay, well, that's in March. We're talking about February.
But we would review it and
But
approve
it
it in
would be
February.
something we could approve.
Right. Yeah.
That puts us over 5. I think that's good enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
It'll be a brief meeting. And then things are, still coming in. Continuing ed closes 14 days out from the meeting. So,
That's now.
Right.
Yep. That's why I know. That's why Paul Locke and Wendy sent their submissions in. I do think I have one from Ann Ginger. So there may be about 4 or 5 courses that we can look at. We can proceed with the regs. We've got business. Who knows what may come in? So
Well, plus maybe Rutgers and EPOC will get back to us by then also. So adjourning the meeting at 1 p.m.
okay.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you,
You're
David.
welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so who's going to conduct professional conduct? Fortunate to have both chairpersons on the line.
Kurt, you want to do the honors of that?
Sure, if you want. Call to order 1 o'clock. Any changes to the agenda? We do. No changes, we can review draft minutes. Any changes to the minutes? Doing. Okay, status of CITs?
So are there were no comments on the minutes, so the minutes were approved as written?
Yes.
Okay, let me just. Okay. So let me give updates on the courses. 05C, we had, I sent out to you the court's denial of the preliminary injunction filed by the LSP in that case. So it should finally, the administrative record is filed. It should finally be moving toward briefing and oral argument. I don't know what the court's calendar is. I expect to hear from Kim Parr, the Assistant Attorney General, once oral argument is scheduled. Again, it's open to the public, so any and all of us can attend. I don't know how the court is admitting people to virtual hearings, so I'll try and get that information from Kim. I have no report on 08C03 and 12C01. I'm afraid they've fallen by the wayside. I hope to have them moving along next month. On 18C01, the complaint review team met on November 20th to get some direction. So we're working on technical aspects of the CRT, of the CRT report in 18C01. 18C02, I need to draft questions, and hopefully we will be able to schedule the LSP interview in March of this year. 20C01 and 20C02 are 2 companion cases that are just being investigated by me. I have scheduled some interviews with DEP employees next week, so I can start moving those cases along. 20C03 is the case that was administratively dismissed, and I believe Wendy Rundle had asked some questions about the administrative dismissal, which means that the complaint came into the office and I screened it out based on lack of jurisdiction. And I think Wendy Rundle had asked more specifics about it, and I can disclose some of that. This was a complaint that was filed in April of 2020. The complaint concerned a particular LSP, of course. The complainant is a private citizen, and what was alleged was unprofessional conduct when interacting with the public, failing to designate himself as LSP of record, not being independent, and having a document signed by an LSP from a different company, none of which violate the standards of professional conduct. So that's why it was dismissed. They went on to allege that the LSP was combative during the meeting and not able to, I mean, it was basically the LSP had poor interpersonal skills, failed to make eye contact, and he pantomimed, God bless you, he pantomimed crying gestures, bending at the waist during a meeting. You know, this is all somehow connected to the Weymouth compressor station issue. But those were the grounds for the dismissal. It failed to state a claim on which over which the board has jurisdiction. 12C04 is the last case on the list, and I'm going to have to ask for some help from the commissioner to get that redacted. I don't have that software installed on my home computer. So I don't know how we can get that done so that you can see it, but it has been docketed 20C04. I just need to get someone somehow to get it redacted. That's all I had.
Thank you.
I've got a question. Beverly, I'm not sure about the others. It would have really helped us if we had a worksheet because we're completely flying blind on this.
Yeah. Well, you can always take notes on what I give you. Producing that sheet is kind of hard to do. I know what you're talking about. Hopefully, I'll be able to reactivate you're talking about the active cases table, right?
Yes.
Yes. Well, hopefully, I'll be able to reactivate that this year. This has been last year was pretty tumultuous. And if you look at professional conduct minutes, Jamie asked me the same question. I believe Mark has commented on it as well. I'll do my best to get it started again. I know that that's the best way for everybody to have a more complete picture. It's just kind of hard to produce here at home. But I'll see what I can do because I know that it's very helpful and that you need it.
Thanks, Beverly.
Any new business? Okay. Next meeting is February 9th. And to have a motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do I have to take a roll call?
No, to adjourn?
Yeah? No. Okay, thank you.
What time, Kurt? You're adjourning at 1:09 p.m.
All under 10 minutes.
Right. Yeah, good job. Like I said, I know people have, some folks have a hard stop at 3 o'clock. So, all right. You want the active cases table back.
Okay, great. Are we ready to move on with the virtual board meeting?
Think so.
Okay. I'd like to call to order this meeting at 1:10. Good afternoon, and welcome to the first of the year 2021 LSP board virtual meeting. And again, as a reminder, please note that this meeting is being recorded. So our next item is announcements, and I do have an announcement. So serving as chairperson of this board, yesterday on January 25th, 2021, I issued a letter via email to Mass DEP's Commissioner Suberg with an e-copy to Beverly and all of the board members on behalf of the appointed board members of the LSP board. And this letter was issued to express our appreciation for Commissioner Suberg's unwavering support to the board. Through this letter, I also requested that the commissioner consider, approve, and post a Mass DEP temporary relocation program trip opportunity to support Beverly and the board's operations. I note that this action is a carryover from the September 23rd, 2020 board meeting discussion, and thereby, because it was discussed in September last year, a topic for public discussion in a future LSP board meeting, which brings us to today. So does anyone have any questions or comments?
Well, I had a question, and this goes into, well, maybe I'll just save it, but, you know, I sent a part of the packet was the AG Attorney General's office meeting of open government. And it talks about committees and subcommittees and meetings outside of the board meeting. So I don't know how the letter was crafted or whether or not there were subcommittee meetings, but I plan on talking about that based on the information that we got from the Attorney General's office.
Sure, just to clarify and maybe just to answer that question directly right now, there was no committee by which that letter was crafted. The letter was drafted, circulated, comments were incorporated as we had discussed publicly, and therefore the letter that was issued last night is the result of that that transaction between September and now.
Millie, thanks for doing the letter. Do we know what kind of time frame there may be, and is there anything that board members can do to follow up?
I have not confirmation from Commissioner Suberg as to whether he received it, but I shall report back on anything that he sends out, which I'm sure that he will be addressing both to Beverly, myself, and the board members.
Thanks.
Okay, any other announcements, either from the board members or the public? Okay. Hearing none, let's move on to agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, or any changes to the draft agenda? Hearing none, I move that we just adopt the agenda.
Second.
So by way of yes, please let me know if you acquiesce to that. Farouk?
Yes, sorry, I was moving.
Yes. Debbie,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Kathy,
yes,
Greg,
Yes.
Kirk,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
and Jamie.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt the agenda as provided to us. Next item, review of draft meeting minutes. I do have a modification that's germane to the announcement section of that particular meeting packet.
Okay, well, email them to me, Millie.
Okay, I will. Just for disclosure right now, it has to do with my
Sure.
share, a handout at that particular meeting that took place in Northeast Region. And the handout was titled Licensed Site Professional Board Public Meeting Ground Rules. And basically, my passing that out and discussing was for the purposes of reaffirming the need for strict adherence to the core meeting ground rules during LSP board meetings. So I just wanted to let people know what my comments were about. Any other comments on the February 11, 2020 board meeting minutes?
I have a few editorials. I'll email it to Beverly. They're just very
Yep.
minor.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Farouk. Anyone else?
So,
Anyone else? And if anyone else has comments, kindly just forward them along to Beverly. Okay, so I move to approve the February 11, 2020 board meeting minutes as modified.
Second.
All in favor, please say yes when I call your name. Farouk?
Yes.
Me, yes. Deb?
Yes.
Gail?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Kathy?
yes,
Greg?
Yes.
Kirk?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And Jamie.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve the modified meeting minutes. Okay, so we're going to now discuss in item 5, decisions regarding licensing of applicants. We're going to move forward with voting on the renewal dockets. And today the board will act on 6 renewal dockets, which are up for discussion and voting. The first renewal docket consists of 12 LSPs who have completed all of the requirements for renewal. Thereby, their license will have a renewal date of January 30, 2024. So at this time, I'd like to open the floor for questions and or discussions of this particular docket number 1.
motion to approve docket number 1,
Second.
Please say yes by way of roll call. Farouk?
Yes.
Me, yes. Deb?
Yes.
Gail?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Kathy?
yes,
Greg?
Yes.
Kirk?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And Jamie.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve renewal docket number 1 as recorded. So the next renewal docket number 2 consists of 1 LSP, and that LSP has requested a 90-day extension to its original renewal date,
Motion
January
approved.
30, 2021. So they will now have a new renewal date of April 30, 2021. Discussion?
Motion to approve.
second,
All in favor, please say yes when I call your name. Farouk?
Yes.
Me, yes. Deb?
Yes.
Gail?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Kathy?
yes,
Greg?
Yes.
Kirk?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
And Jamie.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve this renewal docket as recorded. Docket number 3 consists of the 1 LSP that has completed all the requirements within a 90-day extension. Thereby, this LSP's license will have a new renewal date of October 30, 2023. Open the floor for discussion.
Motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
Please say yes when I call your name. Farouk?
Yes.
Me, yes. Deb?
Yes.
Gail?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Kathy?
yes,
Greg?
Yes.
Kirk?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And Jamie.
Yes.
Number 4, again, one LSP completed all the requirements for the renewal. And now that LSP license will have a new renewal date of January 30, 2024. Discussion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Please say yes when I call your name. Farouk?
Yes.
Me, yes. Deb?
Yes.
Gail?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Kathy?
yes,
Greg?
Yes.
Kirk?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And Jamie.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to move to renewal docket number 5, but I do have a question, jumping a little bit ahead to renewal docket number 6. And I'm asking if Beverly could provide me with a little bit of guidance here. The way I read the docket as recorded, maybe I'm not seeing. Oh, okay, I see the difference now. It's the renewal date originally for docket 5 was July 30. All right, so retract that. Renewal docket number 5, 2 LSPs completed the requirements within the 1 year. They now have a new renewal date of January 30. Discussion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a
Second.
second?
Second.
Please say yes when I call your name. Farouk?
Yes.
Millie? Yes. Deb?
Yes.
Gail?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Kathy?
yes,
Greg?
Yes.
Kirk?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And Jamie.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve the renewal docket as recorded. And number 6, 1 LSP, it states that it reflects an LSP who has completed the requirements within 1 year, and therefore now the LSP license has a new renewal date of January 30, 2024. Any comments, questions?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Second.
Please say yes when I call your name. Farouk?
Yes.
Me, yes. Debbie?
Yes.
Gail?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Kathy?
yes,
Greg?
Yes.
Kirk?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And Jamie.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve renewal docket number 6 as recorded. Okay, at this time, I'd like to have Beverly provide us with discussion on the ARP panel number 313.
Okay, the applicant was James Marolda. The ARP met. There were only 2 members present, but it was sufficient to carry the day. I want to talk a little bit about Mr. Marolda's qualifications because he came in just under the radar and was not able to take the exam on the 9th. But on December 15th, we reviewed his application, and it was basically approved. The members of the ARP felt that Mr. Marolda, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, had all of the qualifications that the projects that he presented were good projects. And his he had the requisite RPE, TPE, and was of good moral character, and it was approved on that date. So he's in queue to take the exam the next time it's offered.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Okay, so there are no actions. If this was just a report back, Beverly?
We need a
That's right.
motion. Do we need a motion to approve the recommendation of the review panel?
Second.
All in favor, please say yes when I call your name. Farouk?
Yes.
Millie, yes. Deb?
Yes.
Gail?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Kirk?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And Jamie?
Yes.
Motion carries to move forward with recommendation. Okay, so Beverly, if you could also take care of assigning, discussing the assignment of application panel review number 314.
Yeah.
I'll volunteer if you need one.
All right. So Kurt Franklin has volunteered. I need 2 others.
I can do it.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear who that was.
Greg McBride.
And Farouk.
All right. Thank you. All set.
Great, thank you. Beverly, so why don't you please continue on with providing a report to the board regarding the total number of active LSPs, et cetera.
So there were 469 LSPs as of the 21st, but that number is in flux because we are in the process of going through our annual fees, and I'll just give that right now. So there are the 3 LSPs who are on inactive status, and with respect to the annual fee report, there are 775 LSPs. That includes the 5 new admittees from the December exam, and their annual fee is due on March 1st, 2021. And I can go right into the January quarterly fee. In January, there are 38 renewals that are billed this quarter. So far, 17 of the 38 have paid their fees, and 12 of the 38 have filed their renewal applications. Those renewal applications are due on January 30th, 2021.
Okay. Okay. If you just want to keep follow through with the remainder of the conversation, the next item is schedule exam committee meeting.
Yep, I'm going to be emailing everybody to try and schedule an exam committee meeting in February, sometime in February. I know it's a short month, but we'll try and get one meeting in, but it will be a lot of coordination, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to schedule one in February. And then I'm just going to jump into item number 10, which is the exam report. As you know, the LSP exam was administered during the pandemic on December 9th, 2020. There were 6 people sitting socially distanced. They were tested, and contact tracing was conducted by an independent contractor before the start of the exam. 5 people passed the exam. 1 person failed. The person who failed has asked for an exam review, and I'm currently waiting for instructions from EEA on how to conduct an exam review, because that has to be done in person, because we don't, send the exam. The person who is undergoing the review gets 2 hours to get to look at the exam questions that they marked incorrectly. So it has to be done in person because I have to proctor it. So I don't know what the COVID protocol is for that. So I'm waiting to hear back from them. But that's it.
I think you mentioned that one of the person who passed had taken it for the 3rd time, which is great. Did the other 4, were they first-time takers that passed?
All of the people taking the exam, except 1 person, was a first-time taker. So 5 were first-time takers, and 1 person was taking the exam for the 3rd time, and that person passed.
Thank you.
Beverly, I want to thank you also for your significant involvement, creativity, and dedication to move this very important action forward. On behalf of the board, I really appreciate what you've done here.
You're very welcome.
Great. At this time, I'd like to have Dave provide us with a summary report from today's committee meeting on the continuing education committee meeting.
Yes, we met at 12:30. We discussed draft minutes, and there was no new old business. Under new business, there were 11 course approval requests. We approved 6 courses as proposed. We approved 1 course for 2.5 credits instead of 3, and we tabled 4 courses. And as of now, the next meeting is on February 9th.
Motion to approve the recommendations of the continuing ed committee.
Second,
By way of roll call, please say yes when I call your name. Farouk?
Yes.
Me, yes. Deb?
Yes.
Gail?
yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Kirk?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And Jamie?
Yes.
Motion carries to approve the recommendations. Thank you, Dave. There's a line item here for other business. Anything else that needs to be covered under that particular agenda item?
Personnel, budget, and fees. The interviews ongoing next week. There are hopefully going to we're hopefully going to interview the investigator candidates.
Okay, great. And Beverly, my apologies. I jumped the professional conduct committee report. So I'm just going to skip back to that, just provide you with the floor for the further discussion. So Kirk, if you don't mind providing us with a quick summary report from today's committee meeting.
Sure, nothing was voted on, but 05C07 denied preliminary injunctions moving forward. 18C01 CRT scheduled was met November 20th. 18C02 questions are being drafted. 20C01 and 20C02, Beverly's going to begin the investigation on that. 20C03 administratively dismissed, and 20C04 We're going to be seeking help redacting so that that can go out. And the only other question was Farouk asked that the table come back, the summary table. It was adjourned at 1:09.
Okay. I know there were no votes, so the question is whether we need to adopt the recommendations from the Professional Conduct Committee.
We never have to, if we were all there, we don't have to.
Okay, thank you. So Beverly, the floor is yours if you don't mind just talking to us under the other business. We have regulation meeting report, etc.
Regulations report, we finished 8.0, and I have to look and see which sections are left undone. If we are finished, I need to pull everything together so that we can do a final run through. I'm not sure that we're done with all the sections yet, but excuse me. Excuse me. I'll have an update on that for next month.
Okay, great. Thank you. How about personnel? You had already provided us with an update, I believe, in the attorney position work.
Yep, the interviews are ongoing. For both positions, the interviews are ongoing.
Okay.
How many folks are being interviewed for each? And I assume they're online, and how many more weeks or will it be?
I don't know how many more weeks it'll be. I don't know. There's nothing online currently. The positions were posted and they only stay up for X number of days, so they're no longer online for the public to see anyway or apply to. And I don't know, what was your third question, David?
Number of candidates being interviewed for each position.
I'm not going to disclose that.
Wendy had a question. Were any of the candidates for GC interviewed? If so, any offers made?
Yes, candidates were interviewed for the general counsel position, and I'm not going to discuss whether or not any offers were made.
Okay, so should we expect a update? Well, I know this is a running agenda topic, so we can see how this is progressing at the next board meeting. Thank you, Beverly, for all the effort in terms of interviewing, and I know that it's a difficult process.
Yeah.
Budget and fees?
I don't have a report on budget and fees.
Okay. Thank
The
you.
budget is only submitted once a year, and we've already done that. It was, and it's not going to come up again. That this category, Millie, is always personnel, budget, and fees, but there's not always a personnel, budget, and fees report. For I'm sorry, there's not always a report for all three. The budget is done yearly, so it will not be revised again until the summer, the new fiscal year, July of 2021.
Okay, I only asked because I know that DEP is currently now starting the process with ANF to look at budget for FY22. So that was just I was just wondering if there was anything from your front. Understood.
No, we never submit anything in January. I didn't know DEP submitted its budget, but you know, the board is a line item on DEP's budget. So, but no, what I submit to the budget office goes to them in June or July. I've forgotten which, June or July. They send a request directly to me. So it's separate and apart from DEP, except for the fact that I think we're line item 21 or something like that in DEP's budget.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All
You're
right,
welcome.
and Beverly, you were going to provide us with
Right.
guidance with regards to AGO, Division of Open Government. So thank you for doing that.
Right. You're welcome. I just want to very quickly run through some things that I think are salient. I always pass this along if I think that the information is helpful. And so I would ask that you pay attention in particular to pages 3 and 4. I'm not going to read it other than to say that it talks about subcommittees. And we've had questions come up during the board meeting about whether or not an ARP or a CRT is a subcommittee, or the exam committee, the reg committee. And I think this sets it out pretty well. The open meeting law says that a subcommittee is any multiple member body created to advise them and make recommendations. And that's the long and the short of it. So CRTs are subject to the open meeting law, ARPs, and the any committee that's comprised of is comprised to make recommendations. It does talk about a single member doing something or a volunteer doing something. That's not considered to be a subcommittee and therefore subject to the open meeting law. There are 3 primary factors. The first is whether or not the entity or the official has the authority. The second is how the committee was created. Is it a volunteer situation of one member, or is it a duly committee such as ARP 314 that we formed today? And then the third factor is whether or not there was an official who made the assignment, or whether it was the full body. And so if you're on these things, then if you meet that criteria, then you're subject to the open meeting law. On page 4, there is an open meeting law decision that just came down in 2020. It's open meeting law decision 2020-144, and it specifically says that public body members of the board may not deliberate outside of a properly noticed board meeting. So that just has to do with, anybody meeting outside of the board and given instructions by members of the board to meet. And I know it sounds a little complicated, but it's really not. The other decision there on page 4, I make sure with 48 hours before every board meeting, we have to notify the Secretary of State. It's an open meeting law notice, and I do that for every meeting that we have. And that was all.
Great, thank you. It's always a great reminder. All right, so with that, our future virtual meeting will be held, as we discussed, on February 9 at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. And again, thank you, Beverly, Chris, and all of the LSP board members for your commitment to the board's mission. And with that, this meeting is adjourned at 1:44 p.m.
Motion to adjourn?
I had one quick question. I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you guys want to start all of the meetings at 12 o'clock next month so that there's not that lag time that we had today?
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, all it requires is me listing in the open meeting law notice that goes to the Secretary of State that every meeting will start at 12 o'clock.
yep. That's a good
Okay.
idea.
All right.
And I
Open
believe
meetings to
that
start.
great, and I don't think we need to move to close the meeting, to adjourn the meeting.
No.
Okay, so with that, this meeting is adjourned at 1:45 p.m.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good afternoon.
Take care
Yep.
and thank
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.